And I have so many of my friends, I've tried and tried and tried to talk to them. Go to closings, go to closings, go to closings, at least go for the reviews. And they still don't have reviews. And they're trying to run like PPC ads and all this kind of stuff. And they're running all these kind of ads, paid ads with no reviews.
Wasted money. Everybody listen to this. Like, don't be running PPC ads with no reviews, no credibility. You're wasting money.
Garbage. Stop that. Don't do it. Go to the start going to closings for the next month or two. Bring your cell phone. They have great cameras, by the way. Go there, take a selfie video with these people, or go to their house. If you already bought their house and have a good relationship, say, hey, I know it's crazy, but would you do a review with me? You know, like go, like spend a little time, do this, invest in it.
Hello, friends. Welcome back to the CareCast podcast. My name is Brady. I'm your host. This is the podcast for real estate investors and agents where we help you build businesses of freedom and impact by dialing in your online marketing. Today, I have my friends with me, Mr. Keith Sant, Beau Hollis. Welcome back to the podcast, guys. How's it going?
Man, glad to be on here with all of these awesome guys.
Yeah, Brady, appreciate you having me back.
Absolutely. It has been a minute. If you guys don't know Beau Hollis, Keith Sant, go to Google and type in Carrot, Keith, Beau, whatever. You're going to find a lot of good content. But these guys have been investing for years. They're some of the best wholesalers, best investors around, and really know their stuff when it comes to, I'd say Keith is stronger on the lead generation side and Beau is the closer, but they both do both of those really well. But if you guys want to know how to generate leads through SEO and close deals, we've got a lot of content on both of those. So what are we doing today? It's website design and conversion month at Carrot in February. And so we're talking about how to increase the conversion on your website to close more deals. One of the best ways you can increase the conversion on your website and make use of the leads that are coming in is to add testimonials and add credibility to your website. And so I feel like this is a concept to marketers and to some investors that is simple and easy. And for some people, there's a lot of questions that come with it. So we're going to talk about getting testimonials both for credibility and conversion on your website, but we're also going to touch on how this helps as far as SEO. And we're talking both video and written, but I also want to know, before we get into this conversation, that with recent Google updates, video and video testimonials are playing a bigger role in ranking in Google. So whether that's videos in your website or on your website or in YouTube. And so that being said, Keith, Beau, as an investor and agent, where do you need testimonials and why do they even matter in the first place?
You need them everywhere. I mean, you definitely need them everywhere. It's for credibility. There's so many cash home buyers, right, for people to choose from, and they want to know that they're doing business with real companies. And if you don't have that, the testimonials to everyone else, like are you even real? Like, are you even a real company? Have you been doing business? Like, yeah, it's just the credibility is insane. And I've had so many sellers say they chose me because of my testimonials. Like they watched the videos, they read them, they did a lot of research before calling me and just decided they wanted to do business with me regardless of what price I gave. And so the testimonials are extremely important. Like they feel like they got to know you by watching, seeing your website. If you have video, which is extremely important, like you just said, like they feel like they got to know you through all of that. And I've had people I show up to the appointment and they're like, you're the guy in the video. And I'm like, yeah, on my own website, but they're looking at me like I'm a freaking rock star. But yeah, so video is extreme, video testimonials. And those are the only videos I have on my website are just video testimonials, and they work. So definitely get them and put them everywhere you can.
Yeah. I mean, talking about what Keith is talking about, when I first started, I didn't do it. I took pictures with the sellers like all the time. I would just take pictures because I didn't really know what to say, or I was just like, hey, I just took a selfie with my sellers, which is, if I can give it advice, it's better than none, right? Like, absolutely. Just take a quick selfie, smile. Obviously, if it's a good situation and they're quite happy with your job, at least do a selfie at least. But I've had sellers just kind of like what Keith was talking about. I met a guy one day and he was like, man, you're actually quite famous. And I had no idea. And I said, what are you talking about? He was like, man, I Googled who you were. I Googled your name, and you're everywhere, all over the internet. And it's things like this, like different things like this, plus like all of our testimonials that we have on our website now. Our video testimonials are everywhere, and it's a really simple process. It's not that hard, but it makes you stand out from every other person in your market if you have a lot of just content with you and sellers. I mean, it's not hard. It's a very, very simple process, but it really matters.
And so one of the reasons I want to talk to you guys specifically about this is because of what you just mentioned. It's simple. It needs to be, in order to do it well, you need to not overcomplicate it. And,
Yep.
like you said, you started with selfies and then it's just recording it on your phone. You guys have been doing this a while. And I know, Beau, on your website, you have a ton of video testimonials.
Yep.
Do you ever take your foot off the gas because
No,
you feel
never.
like you have enough? No.
Let me just say this is that in the wholesale space, there's a reason why a lot more people do not have more testimonials. And here's the reason. It is because there's been a lot of teaching in the wholesale space is to do this virtually, or do this where you're absentee from the day-to-day operations from your business. So people who teach this, this model of wholesaling or investing, it's a very hands-off approach. It's get a contract, have everybody else do your work in your business. You have this entire team of people, and you don't go to closings because they assign things and stuff like that. So let me say this is I am the opposite of that. And the reason we have so many video testimonials is because I believe you should go to closings. I believe that you should be there shaking your seller's hands, looking them in the eyes, and grab your phone. And it's so simple to say, hey, would it be okay after we get done here? Could we do a quick video testimonial? And that's how I've gotten all my stuff, is people say yes every time. And then just give it to a title agent, or if you have a friend with you, just hold it up, man, and start talking. Hey, and we'll get into that, I'm sure, of how to do it.
Keith, what do you ask at the? Do you ask him at the closing table, or is it as simple as, hey, can I get a quick video testimonial from you?
Yeah, so I've actually never been to a close. I don't really go to close. I
didn't realize that. I didn't intend for this to be polar opposites. I didn't realize that.
No. I mean, because we do a lot of like virtual closing, or like, we do like mobile notaries and stuff. So like a lot of the signings will happen at the seller's house, and the buyer, signed a different, maybe the day before, or just at a different location, right? But if I'm, 90% of all my deals are assignments, and I still got to get the keys from the seller to the buyer. So I usually meet up on closing day, like, hey, can I meet up with you and grab the keys from you? And it's almost always at the house. And so then I grab the keys, shake their hand. Thank you so much. Now they're happy. They just got paid, right? Like, or their, wire is initiated. And then I say, oh, wait, I kind of just thought about this. Like, would you mind like just stepping over here real quick and just doing a quick video with me? And just kind of telling people like about our experience. It would help me like kind of reach more people in, situations similar to yours. And 9 times out of 10, they're like, yes. The only time I've ever had anyone say no is if a woman's like, I didn't do my hair, but I'll write you a really good review. And I'm like, okay, I appreciate that. But,
yeah, I didn't get my makeup on today.
Yeah.
I like that. I mean, it's simple, but the timing is key. Like, that's the happiest they're going to be in the entire process.
Mm-hmm.
Get them then. Do you guys prefer to do you and the seller, or is it just this, like you holding the phone and you're, prompting the seller? What do you like?
I try to get in there with the seller for sure. In the beginning, like the first few that I did, I was just holding the phone like selfie, kind of back it out. And like, we're huddled in real close. And then, but I have some other ones where I brought like a partner, or even brought the buyer with me, and he's holding the camera for me. And yeah, it works.
Yeah, I personally, I like to be in the videos just because, number one, you're in the videos. You're in the videos, and it's your website, right? Your face is every single place on your website. So you're with John and Judy and Ben and Tom and Sally and Sarah and all these different people, right? That you've bought their houses from, and you're in different outfits, and there's so much of you. You're like, wow, this guy's busy. He's active. He's actually there. So even if it's a picture, like it really matters. I don't have like the big sold signs like realtors do, but I mean, sometimes I wish I did just because it's a visual effect. But I just like what I do is I give my cell phone to the attorney there, unless I have a friend with me. Um, and then I'll just have him hold it and I'll just say, um, hey, I'm with John. I just bought his house. And I coach them prior to this, right? I tell them exactly, hey, I'm going to ask you how the process went. Was it simple? Was it easy? And would you recommend it? Would you recommend it to a friend?
Mm.
Right. Um, so I just do that and I say, hey, I'm with John and we just bought his house. John, how was it working with us? Oh, it's amazing. I loved it. Would you recommend this to a friend? Oh my God, it was so cool, right? It was a great experience. You should definitely use Simply Sold.
Mm.
Boom. Thanks a lot, John. Thank you. And we'll maybe give a hug or something like that. Simple, boom, done. Like
Yeah.
15 seconds, 20 seconds, we're done.
Do you ever ask them, do you ever have times where like, oh, I'm going to make a case study of this, or I'm going to ask them a bunch of questions because it went so well? Like, are you ever asking, like, why'd you choose us over some of the other investors that gave you offers?
I personally don't too much. I'm the only kind of questions I might go into would be, this is just me personally. I would go into questions like, um, did we pay you a fair price for the property? Do you feel like we paid you a fair price for the property?
Mm.
Do you feel like we were fair with you? Or a question like that. Just because that's a big objection that other sellers are going to have. That is the biggest objection. Is this company going to be fair with me on pricing? And so I want to overcome that objection by a review. That's so when I say, hey, was this fair with you? Was I fair with you on the price? And they're gonna say, oh my gosh. And I have other testimonials. You can go on my site. You can say, oh my goodness, yes, it was so fair. I can't believe it.
Mhm. Yeah.
Those kind of things. That's one of the only questions I would ask, just because most people are not like me, where they could totally random off the cuff, talk about any subject ever in the world and intelligently. Like
Mhm.
they stutter and they just get really fright in front of a camera. So I try to keep it really simple, uh, so they know what to say.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I like how you're kind of coaching them or briefing them ahead of time because they need to know what to expect. I mean, it's normal for most people to just kind of stutter and mumble their way through something. So,
Yeah, and I'm
um,
not gonna ask them, like, if I don't think that they're gonna say yes, I never have said, "Hey, say yes," but I'm always I tell them if I feel like it's gonna be a positive or a mutually good conversation, I will ask them for a video review. Because I will say this, and is that if people are going through a really hard time personally, like they're going through a divorce
mm,
or, they're going death in the family or something like that, getting a really happy review uh, is a challenge because selling this home may be a very sad situation for them, right?
mhm,
You're dealing with somebody who's in a lot of maybe emotional distress. So, hey, was this a great experience for you? No, it sucked. I sold my childhood home, and I am really sad today that I had to let that part of my life go.
mhm.
So, being very careful and conscientious of their feelings and what you ask and say, is really important. That's the reason I ask like questions like, was I fair with you? Was it good with you? Because all of that is not really um, deep diving into their emotional state. It's just keeping it really simple and they can answer
Right.
yes to it because I'm treating them fair. I'm kind to them. Was it a simple process? I already know the answer, right? That stuff's all yes answers. So it's framing your questions into what the answers are going to be, not in a like manipulative way.
Right. Absolutely. Any thoughts on that, Keith?
Yeah, just like what Beau was saying, like if you frame your answers, I love what he said about using the testimonials or the reviews to squash sellers' objections. I do that with like my Facebook ads and stuff, and yeah, I'll kind of frame the question. I want to squash the, like, can he close fast, right? Like I had one guy, I specifically asked him, I was like, yeah, and we closed in like 30 days, right? And he's like, you close in 2 weeks. Yeah, that's right. I knew it closed in 2 weeks,
I
but I
watched that
wanted
one
I wanted
yesterday.
him to
Yeah.
say that. Yeah, right. And then like another one, this lady, like I specifically asked, I was like, oh yeah, if I remember right, you got other offers, right? And she's like, yeah, I got 2 other offers, and you were the highest. Boom, like that's one of the objections. Like, is yeah, they could pay, maybe they'll pay fair prices, but is is Keith, this kind house buyer, is going to be paying me more than the other guys? Heck yeah, we are. And just other ones as well. But try to squash those objections. Like, can you really close? Can you close on time? Are you going to pay me a fair price? Those are the main ones I get, and try to squash those. And yeah, they work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a closing tomorrow. I met the seller on Sunday.
Okay.
And I have them closing their house tomorrow. So
like this Sunday of this week.
yes, and I didn't get the contract until I believe it was Monday. So
Holy cow.
the time of this recording, it is Thursday. So we had Monday. I did a title order Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 3 days. We're closing Friday. So it's a really
5 day close.
5 days. And so I already know my review is going to be awesome because I performed so well. And that's another whole thing to this business as well, as how to get good reviews. You do really good at your job.
Exceed the expectations.
Really exceed the expectations. Communicate with your seller. I know we're just speaking the basics, but the guys and girls who are the very best in this business, they are brilliant at the basics, right? It's over communicate, let people know what's happening, and just really do a good job at what you're supposed to be doing. Like, I'm buying a house in 5 stinking days, and the review is going to be amazing. I paid more than everybody else. I closed faster than they ever anticipated. And it's a dream scenario for them. So I anticipate getting hugs.
That's wild. You're closing on the house faster than I can do my laundry at times. Sometimes it takes me a week just to get back to the clothes dryer.
I have good relationships with my family, so that really does help me expedite things, things other people can't do.
That's fast. So y'all both hit the nail on the head with, the objections. Like, that's why the website exists, is to combat those specific objections. Because when somebody clicks on a Google ad or they're searching, sell my house fast, Seattle, Washington, like those questions are already popping up in their head. So your copy, the words on your website and those videos need to tackle those. And this isn't specific to motivated sellers. This is any website, any business. Are there any, I guess, kind of 2 questions, any other objections you're making sure to tackle? And then, are you doing anything special with these videos on your website? Like, are you organizing them, laying them out in a way? Or are they kind of just a random smattering to make sure that they, you have a variety on there?
Those are the main objections that I'm really kind of getting after. And I know you asked earlier, like, have you ever put your foot or you take your foot off the gas? I have,
Yeah.
But I need to actually get it back on there. And as far as like how many you put on or where, you definitely want to put them on your reviews page, right? Like, you have a reviews or testimonials page. I do put 1 or 2 on my landing pages. I find that, like, your your location pages, I never really saw a ton of sellers actually clicking on the videos that were on the city landing pages. But the people that were actually researching you and wanted to go to your reviews page, the How It Works page, the Our Companies page, like, they, like I said, they're getting to know you through this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so having it on your reviews page is super powerful. Having a YouTube video on your city landing pages is super powerful. We've done, testing and actually saw it will increase your rankings if you do it correctly. So having it on there is powerful. Do I see a ton of people actually watching it? No. But once it's over on the reviews page and on YouTube, and other places, they are getting watched, and it is helping you a lot. Yeah.
Anything else you're doing as far as SEO? Like, I noticed when I went into Google yesterday and searched kind house buyers reviews, because that's what I would, if I was doing business with you, that's what I would search. Like, one of the first results, if not the first one, I think it was after Yelp and something else. And then your Google My Business page was, kindhousebuyers.com/ reviews and testimonials, something like that. It seemed like you were specific with the URL and the copy on the page. What are you doing there?
Yeah. I actually put like my H1, right? Because that is what people are Googling, right? And they're like, kind house buyer reviews, simply sold reviews. Like, if they're already
For those who don't know what a H1 is, will you
Oh,
explain what that is, please?
Thank you, Beau. We
yeah,
assume and we
good
forget.
call. Yeah, so your H1 is like your main title or your main heading on a page. Like every web page should have one H1. And instead of just saying reviews or what our happy customers are saying, I want to like really spell it out and get that main keyword, which is company reviews, kind house buyers.
So on our sites, so for people like myself with like things simple like child,
Simply sold.
it's
Asking for a friend.
big bold letters, right? On our the biggest, boldest letters on our websites, right?
Yep.
So if they Google your kind house buyers or my site simply sold, it is the biggest, darkest text letters. Color's not necessary, but that is just the biggest, boldest text on our sites.
Yep.
Correct.
The H1.
That is the H1.
H1. Yep.
Yeah.
And every
You're highlighting that text and you're saying instead of normal text, which would be your copy or your body text, you're telling Google this is H1, your biggest header, or for the smaller ones, H2, H3, but you're telling Google, pay attention to this. This is what this page is
This is
about.
the most important. You're pointing that out, basically telling people this is the most important, right?
Exactly. And all your H2s and H3s are like secondary topics under that parent topic of the H1.
Maybe I'm getting too nerdy and specific for a podcast about testimonials, but what do your H2s and H3s look like on that page?
On that page, I'd have to look, but I mean, if I was just gonna, shoot, I'd say, and the main one would definitely be my company reviews, right? Kind house buyers reviews. And then underneath that, H2s could be something like kind house buyer video reviews, kind house buyer Google review. I think that's actually what they are. Kind house buyer, I actually break them up after I got enough. I was like, okay, cool. I could actually make sections, kind house buyer, better business bureau. And then I would, see what our happy Seattle or Washington homeowners have to say, or reviews from happy Washington homeowners. So I kind of, I'm very specific and try to get kind house buyer review, kind house multiple times. And then after that, I can kind of, get other things in there that are very related, if that makes sense, and try to fluff it up with the location and some other stuff.
No, that totally makes sense. That's helpful insight there on the SEO side as well, because people are Googling like this, or they are Googling this before they decide to work with you.
It's like you're researching a product that you would like to buy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to buy something, you're going to research everything you can about it. I mean, most people do that, right? They research things and stuff about companies and they research. So the best way to do it is just do what we're talking about, YouTubing and Googling.
Well, and Trevor's brought this up before, but the worst thing you can have is no reviews. You'd rather have a couple. I mean, you don't want all bad reviews, but seeing somebody no reviews, if I'm on Amazon and you see no stars, immediately I'm like scrolling past it. Like, I don't know if I can trust that. There's zero credibility.
Right.
You know?
And I have so many of my friends, I've tried to talk to them, go to closings, at least go for the reviews. And they still don't have reviews. And they're trying to run like PPC ads and all this kind of stuff. And they're running all these kind of ads, paid ads with no reviews.
Wasted money. Everybody listen to this. Like, don't be running PPC ads with no reviews, no credibility. You're wasting money.
Garbage. Stop that. Don't do
it.
Go to the, start going to closings for the next month or two. Bring your cell phone. Like, you don't have to have a fancy camera. Go there, take a selfie video with these people, or go to their house. If you already bought their house and have a good relationship, say, hey, I know it's crazy, but would you do a review with me? Like go, like spend a little time, do this, invest in it.
Okay. So I got a couple quick technical questions on video reviews, and then we'll move on. We'll talk about Google reviews, and Keith's got some tips on how he uses Google reviews that we were talking about before the podcast. One, so Beau, your buddy with no reviews. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to be on camera. I like to be on camera. What's the simplest, fastest advice for that?
Stop being lazy.
Yep. There it is.
Like, I mean, for real, like, stop being like, I mean, I'm going to be a coach for a second and say, know that you don't really care about your business. Stop being lazy and go to the stinking closing. Like, end of story. Like, get it done. Like, figure out a way to do it. I mean, if you really, or shut your website down, which we don't want that. We're pro carrot. But at the same time,
we'll cut that out of the podcast.
Yes.
Just kidding.
Like, either do what you say you're really there to do, or stop. just stop it. Stop being lazy. You're being a lazy bum. It takes you 5 minutes, and just get your cell phone out. I mean, iPhone 14 Pro Max has the most insane camera. Stop being lazy. Just say hi. Even if it's, hi, this is John. I just bought our house. Was it great? You can stutter. Like, is it a
Mhm.
great process? Oh yeah, it was great. Awesome. Who cares what it's like? You don't have to be like a fancy production value here. We're just talking cell phone in front of a seller. End of story.
And the next question that pops up, someone's gonna say, "Well, Beau, do you edit them? Do I gotta send this to someone on Fiverr? Do I have my logo and the intro music and all that?"
Nope. What you
No.
do is when you hold that phone in front of them, you say, all right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. You click the little red button. And then
You
at
take a
the
deep
end,
breath.
yep. At the end, you hit the red button again and it's over. And then you can do all the little editing you want. If there's 3 seconds in front and 3 seconds in, the end, you can edit it right on your phone. It's so simple.
Mhm.
It is not hard at all. But I just find a lot of people, I just think it's the culture of what we do. It's they don't go to closings. And I think most of the time they just don't do it because they're not there. I think they get assignments and maybe, I think
Mhm.
it's so worth it. I mean, like, we've talked about this so much today. Like, it's so worth it to go there because you win deals. You actually make more money because you have them. And it's facts. It is straight facts. If you like money and you like eating food and paying your bills and you want more of it, get testimonials. It's not hard.
Oh, I love that.
It,
I love that. That's
I know
awesome.
I'm hardcore. I'm a hardcore sometimes. But hey, that you want to make more money. That's why I listen to this podcast.
I do understand like not wanting to be on camera and just being like introvert, right? Like, I don't know.
Totally.
Beau's way more extrovert than I ever am. And I remember like the very first video testimonial I did, I didn't want to get on camera. No joke, my hands were like shaking. But I've made so much money from that video and it just got easier. It got easier. I remember, Brady, when you first
Mhm.
asked me, you called me. Yeah,
It's easier because money's in your bank.
Brady called me like, a couple back in 2019 and said, "Hey Keith, like, would you like to be on like a Carrot Cast episode?" And I'm like, who the heck would want to hear what I have to say? Like, this doesn't make any sense. And then I was super nervous, but I'm like, okay, like if it'll actually add value and help people. And so I did it. And I was super nervous during that first one, like straight up. And I had so much good positive feedback. I thought I looked like an idiot. I sounded like an idiot, but like I had people reach out to me and say, Keith, I listened to that twice. It was amazing. I'm like, you did? Like, but for me, right? Like I thought it was just, I already knew the information and whatnot, but I'm telling you,
Mhm.
anyone that's hesitant to get out there, like I swear, like you are your own worst critic. Like I've been there, I've done that. Like I stumble all the time. You probably think you stumble way more than you do. People are going to notice it way more. You can always edit. Like, don't trip. Just get out there because it's so valuable, and no one thinks you look like an idiot or sound like an idiot. You're just
Yeah.
literally critiquing yourself for no reason
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Let me say this about that. Like you're more introverted than I am. I'm like, they don't get more extroverted than me, most people. Um, but let me say this is what's beautiful about our business is that I can be me and you can be you, and you can hold the camera in front and you can maybe be a little bit more reserved than me. And I can be, hey guys, oh my gosh, yeah, give me a high five. I can do whatever I do in my reviews, and you can be you. And guess what? You are going to reach certain people that I'm not able to reach that may like your personality style better than me. And I'm going to reach people that you may not be able to reach because of my personality style. People may resonate with your style and say, "Oh man, this guy, he's just kind, he's reserved, and he's different than this other guy. I think I like that guy better." And that's the point of capitalistic uh, ventures that we're doing, is that we can put ourselves out there right next to each other and give people options. Keith is working with some people in my market, ranking them up above me, who I'm friends with, by the way. And we talk all the time on the phone. I was with Brian this morning and doing deals together. And he's like, hey, what about this ranking, this ranking? And guess what? He's starting to get his testimonials up, and we help each other out. And people may choose him or they may choose me. And that's what this is all about. It's just doing your best. You don't have to be like someone else. You just got to do your best. It's just, you can stutter, but here's one thing I learned in sales. is that, and I know I'm talking a lot, but maybe this helps somebody, is that the people that you're doing the testimonial with, if this is your very first testimonial, guess what? They don't know. They don't know. They
Oh
don't
yeah.
have a they don't have a clue. They don't know you're nervous. They don't know you're shy. They don't know that you've never done this before. They have no clue. They think that this is your 100th. They don't really know unless you tell them. So they're just like, "Okay, this is the plan." They're gonna
That's
say
the
yes.
Well, that's the thing when you first start doing videos is that when you're doing it, it feels like, oh, I'm terrible right now, but on my second video, it'll get better. And on my fifth video, it's going to be amazing. But it's not a matter of better or worse. It's just the confidence going up. It's
Yep.
your confidence catching up to the quality you probably already have. Yeah. I
Yeah,
love the way you put that. They don't know.
it's so simple. They don't have a clue, and you just be yourself. Be you. Be loving and caring and kind to the sellers, and that's all that really matters is just you, "Hey, was this a simple process?" And write it down. Like, write yourself a little script if this will help you. Write a very simple script. You can watch some of our testimonials. Keith has amazing ones. We have some pretty good ones as well. And just write and say the same thing. "Hey, this is Beau." Write it down and then write 2 or 3 things you wanna say, and then say it. Practice, record the videos in the mirror, like, or do
Mhm.
one with your mom or your sister or your friend. Just practice if you feel that nervous, right?
Mhm.
Um, that's what I would do.
That's great. No, that's great advice, man. The only other thing I would add as far as just wrapping up kind of video section, we'll talk about Google reviews and text reviews. When you're doing the videos, like Beau said, just have a good phone. Just a quality iPhone will work. If you have a video guy there with a camera, cool. But um, keep the phone close to you. If somebody else is holding it, don't have them be a mile away. You're going to get garbage audio. So stay a few feet away. It really sucks when you're like, oh, that review is amazing. You go listen to it after the fact and you're like, oh, this audio is suffering, because
Yep.
that matters. So stay relatively close. But the other thing is, we're talking about keep it simple, pull out your cell phone and do it. We've tested on our own websites, Carrot member sites and carrot.com, our website, the more real it looks, the better it will convert. So,
Oh, that's so true, man.
oh, absolutely. Far and away by none. I mean, so with Carrot website, you can plug in testimonials and have them auto-populate in certain areas of the website. That's good and that works. And it's a quick and easy way to get them up there. You should do that. We do that. We also couple it with, like Keith has mentioned on his testimonials, his reviews page, screenshots of real reviews. So you got your simple raw cell phone videos, because that's what people are used to seeing in their social media feeds. And when they get a text from a friend, it's normal. When it's overly polished, it has a tendency to put up this put up walls between people and say, oh, I don't know, this feels a little bit too corporate-y. Is this who I want to work with? Some of that depends on your brand, but anyways, the more real it looks, the better. So if we're talking about Google reviews, Facebook reviews, screenshots of the review itself, screenshot the review and post it onto the page. We found that converts better than, oh, do I need to make the text look perfect? Should I put it in Canva? Should I design it? It's not going to convert and it's going to waste you time. What, Keith, what have you guys, or Beau, what have you guys found on that?
Oh, man, we have done some real serious marketing stuff just over the last years. And I have tried, really high production value stuff. Now, we do have high production value things on our website, but like to what you're saying, the worse it looks, the crappier it is, the better it converts. I
Yeah.
don't know what I mean. Give me an iPhone 6, and I promise you, it probably would be better than a 14. Like, go get something janky and like have my son film it like as a 7-year-old, and he'd probably like, "Oh, hey, daddy," it would probably be better. If people, because it's real, it's authentic, right?
Mhm.
And that's what really it says that you are a real person.
Mhm.
That's just my 2 cents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keith, what about as far as like Google, Facebook reviews, stuff like that, like the aesthetic of it?
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of screenshots for a lot of reasons. The main is, like you said, it's real. It's like, okay, it's authentic. You could actually see where it came from. The other reason is from like an SEO perspective, especially if you get like a really big, long review or something really good, but let's just say it's 200 words. And you just paste that onto your like city landing pages, for instance, it's going to mess with your SEO because now it's going to mess with like the keyword density and other things because you just added 200 words, if that makes sense. And if they start saying like, oh, he even took it, with the chicken coops in the backyard and this and that. Now it's like, is this site about chicken coops or is it about selling houses or buying houses? Right. And so I'd rather have screenshots so that way I could be I could control the words on my page for SEO to the max.
Yeah, absolutely. And then name the images appropriately, kind house by review X or something like that.
Exactly.
So the screenshots work better for credibility, conversion. They work better for SEO. Let's talk about Google reviews. So getting them. So there was a study done. We talked about this on one of the prior SEO podcasts, but on Google reviews on like, how many do I need? And the gal that ran the study found that it was either 30 or 35, somewhere on that 35 mark. That is what you needed to stand out and get yourself to the number one spot as far as your Google page, your Google business page. And then past 30, 35, it was diminishing returns, but that was where you showed the most significant gain, was getting around that many reviews. So, I mean, that's pretty simple. We know that the more Google reviews you have, the better chances you have of ranking in Google. You should get as many as possible. So my question is, Keith, how are you getting these reviews and when are you asking for them?
So I like to try to get those video reviews, right? Well, let me go back to really fast. I found that same thing, right? Like you said about like 35 I found that after like 20 reviews, you get, diminishing returns. Not that you shouldn't still get them, but like as far as like actually SEO value and you showing up, like it definitely goes down and you get a boost at around 10 and then you get another boost around 20. So if you're under 10, like, get to that 10 and then look at your impressions on your Google My Business listing and see what happens. And then once you get to 20 again, you get like another boost. I haven't actually found any significant boost after 20. I know a lot of people that are, crushing, their Google My Business and other stuff with under 20, but definitely get those. The way I'm getting for sure is like, I like to send emails after the close. I try to get them a lot of times. If I'm able to get those videos, right, it's hard to then like, also write if I get a video review, they're kind of less likely to do a Google review, if that makes sense. But if I'm not able to get that, I'll still send them an email, but I send them an email and I'll even offer, I say, hey, so-and-so, and then like a little personal line that was so great, thank you so much for facilitating the sale of your mom's house. Like if I'm dealing with a daughter or something like that, hey, blah, blah, it would mean the world to me and my business if you actually write a review. And by the way, I'm actually able to send you a $50 gift card if you write a review here and here. Here are the links. All you got to do is basically send me an email reply telling me where you want me to send the gift card, and I'll send you $50. And like 80% of the time they write the review and just say, thanks, Keith, and don't send me a return, like an address. I'm like, cool. Like just offering the $50 gets me way more reviews than if I didn't offer, because I've done that too. I did it without offering. I'm not afraid to pay. I think I've only sent out like 10 gift cards and got 50 plus reviews. And that's just on Google as well. And so what I like to do is I say, if I'll give you $50 if you write it here and here. And so one of them is like always Google, because Google are like really valuable. Then I will alternate between like Facebook for the second link, or BBB for the second link, or Yelp, to try to kick up those other numbers as well.
Okay. So a couple things to highlight or clarify, you said that are actually important. It's a dedicated email, because some people might just throw it in as an afterthought or a PSN email, or, oh, by the way, if you liked it. So no, dedicated email specifically saying, hey, this would mean the world to me. I would really value this. There's that human empathy part to it, instead of just, oh, if you enjoyed this experience. So you're doing that. You're incentivizing them for multiple reviews, because I think a lot of people are like, oh, I can't ask a review. I don't want to bug them or whatever. So they just won't. Or they'll be like, oh, I have to pay them. Well, you don't, but I like that idea of saying, hey, I'll give you a gift card if you leave me multiple places, because it's valuable to have them in multiple spots. If you had to choose, what's the best place to get a review? Like if someone's only going to give you one or two, Google My Business, Yelp, Facebook, video.
Hands down. Well, the video is, I love video, but definitely Google until you get that 20. And then after that, it's video and everywhere else. But
okay.
Google.
I noticed I was just Googling Beau real quick to see what he's at 16. You're at 16, Beau. You need a handful more.
Everyone go right. Simply Sold. If you get 4 more, I'm telling you, you'll get a boost.
I know I need to. So if you guys are feeling generous out there, go ahead and hook your boy up.
Yeah. Go review Simply Sold and then go review the Carrot Cast podcast.
Talk about how awesome I am. That'd be so kind of you.
Oh man.
No, it's I need to work on that, on the Google side of things. I think sometimes you're sitting there and you're thinking of a video testimonial and you're trying to get the closing done. And me, I'm signing documents, right? I'm actually there to sign documents and papers. So sometimes, you're trying to think of a video review and, hey, will you do this, 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 and this? Sometimes you can just lose it. And I understand why people might not get them sometimes. You're busy trying to manage the transaction and you just may forget.
As long as you remember, I think one of the most important things to remember is to make it easy for them. Like Keith, you're emailing them, you're saying, here's the link. It's the same. I found the same thing when you're with anything. You're asking someone to do something like, hey, here's our podcast episode we did together. Would you mind sharing this on social media? If you just ask that, but don't give them the way to do it, they're probably not going to do it. And so, hey, can you leave us a review? You can text them the Google My Business link where it's one tap. It should be no more than one tap, boom, and then they can type it, hit enter, that's it. If it's more complicated than that, the more resistance in between that. I mean, same thing with generating a lead on your website. The more resistance you have, more forms they have to fill out, or more questions they have to answer on the forms, the less likely you are to get the lead. So make it easy. Anything else you're doing to make it easy? Or, besides just send them the link or text them the link?
That's all I'm doing.
That's about it.
I do a lot of ours in person just because, I've always liked that because tell me no to my face kind of a thing. It's it's really hard. Now I don't want to do that. I've only had 2 people tell me no ever that they didn't want to take a picture with me or talk about it at all.
Out of hundreds.
Oh, out of multiple hundreds. Only 2 people ever. One person said they were already famous enough, and they were just both were quite elderly.
I gotcha.
And they just felt like, nah, I don't want to do it because I'm too old, kind of a thing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and so that was the reason why they didn't want to, and I said no problem.
Yeah, well, that's encouraging to hear. I know we're about out of time. This has been super value packed. I've enjoyed the conversation. I feel like there's a lot of really good, just tactical takeaways here. My last question for you guys, and then we'll wrap it up. We'll call it a close. Is feel free to answer. What was your worst or your best testimonial experience? Are there any you didn't use, or someone blew up in your face, or you're like, that video went poorly?
I had one, like you mentioned, that it was so good, but I was too far away. I was like 12 feet away plus, and there was kind of a busy road and you could just not hear her, but it was really good. That was kind of like my worst. I felt like, oh my God, just waste of an hour drive. But, I've had some really good, like Beau was saying earlier, like if you do a good job and like, it could be emotional. I've had 2 people like on the verge at like had to kind of like stop in the video testimony because they were, going to start crying. But like they were genuinely so thankful for me. Like, one of them was a divorce. One of them, lost his wife, but like like they were both like so thankful. And both of them, they're like, 2 of my favorite reviews. I use them as Facebook ads and I get a lot of leads from them. Just if you do the right thing, like you're going to get some super happy people and let them be your advocates.
Yeah. I've had some, I can't say I really have had a bad review necessarily, as far as no one's ever said like, hey, it wasn't a good process or anything like that. No one's ever said that to me. But I've had I had one time I bought this house when I first started from this guy who actually reached out to me, by the way. Let me just clarify this. He did reach out to me. But he was just an angry soul. He was just an angry guy. He wouldn't do a review for me, but he took a picture with me, and it is the funniest picture because he's just literally standing there with like the most bitter, angry face ever. It's just like, just he looks angry at the world, and I'm smiling, and he's just so upset. Um, but I mean, I gave him what he wanted for the house, but he was still just angry at the situation. But I've had some pretty great reviews of people who actually were just like, you know, this is a godsend. Beau treated me so amazing. It was the easiest process I've ever had. They elaborated on their own, right? I didn't tell them to do anything or say anything. They were just elaborating of,
Yeah.
this is the easiest, simplest thing I've ever done my whole life. I've sold a lot of houses, and I wish everything could be like this easy. Beau made it amazing. The attorney, like they really raved, and they were just like so happy. I had one lady like give me a hug. It was just, I mean, one time I had multiple hugs, but this one old lady, she was just thrilled. I mean, we really make a difference. What we do actually matters. It's not just to some hucksters out there. We actually make a difference in people's lives who need to get a quick sale for their home with a fair price. So what we do matters, and that is the reason why reviews matter. The reason that reviews matter is because what we do matters.
Absolutely. And you're elevating the industry as a whole,
Oh, absolutely. It's so important because every person out there who's saving somebody from foreclosure or buying an inherited property that maybe they live out of town and they don't know what to do and they're reaching out last minute. Like my fastest closing is actually 3 days from the time I met them. I met somebody on a Tuesday, and Tuesday night at like 6:00, met them. So basically Wednesday, met them Tuesday night at 6, got the house under contract, and we closed Friday morning. So we had Wednesday title pull, Thursday title review, closed Friday morning. So really like a 48-hour basically time frame. And the review was outstanding from the time I closed it, from the time I met the person to when that was a carrot lead, by the way.
That's incredible.
But yeah, but what we do matters. I mean, all the people in the scenarios, I think we talk about reviews, but the reason it's important is it's so much more important than just the review itself. It's the why it's important is because we're letting other people know who might need our services that we are good at our jobs and that we can help them.
Absolutely. I love that. Thanks for sharing that, man. 2 really quick tips, as I know we're at time. I said we were going to close, and we never do. That's just how it goes.
You're a preacher close, right?
Yes, exactly. We'll be done another hour, and then you guys can go to lunch. Keith mentioned retargeting ads. I forgot to bring up. Or you mentioned Facebook ads. Make sure to use them in your retargeting ads. Are you using them in any other ads, Keith? Top of funnel, middle funnel, or just retargeting people that have been to your website already?
Yeah, I use them for like everything. They're literally like my ad of choice for top of funnel and retargeting. But definitely for the retargeting, because they got to your site for whatever reason, they didn't fill out the form. Either they thought you couldn't actually perform, you weren't going to pay the highest price, you weren't going to, you weren't the guy, right? There's a reason why they didn't fill out the form. Maybe they were just busy, but actually squashing those objections in the retargeting ads is super powerful.
Absolutely. Last quick tip on the video testimonials. If you get a great testimonial like these guys are talking about, you can, and you don't have enough reviews on your Carrot website, and let's say you don't have enough screenshots from Google My Business or Facebook, you can take transcribe the text or transcribe what they're saying in that video, or just type it out, simplify it, make it a sentence or two, put that in your Carrot website as a testimonial so it pops up on the page. You could do it with the video or just by itself. So just a way to add more reviews to the page. It'll help with your SEO and just help with the page overall. So yeah, that's all we got for you. Beau, Keith, thank you so much for joining us. Anybody listening, thank you for tuning in. If you got value out of this, share with a friend. And don't forget to go leave Beau Simply Sold a Google review.
You just need 4. Come on, people, 4 of you.
Just need 4. Kidding, not kidding. But go to carrot.com/convert to get the rest of our conversion content for the month. And thanks for tuning in, everyone. We will see you next time.